Yeah, pause YouTube, 6 Foot Hacks here. Got for you guys today the 13th week team building video. For some reason that didn't sound right in my head, but it's the 13th week of the UCL, and this is the team building video for our match against the Manchester Magnezones. Now, we did face Christian week 1, season 1, and we were able to pull out a victory. Now, we are coming off of a pretty tough loss from last week. We unfortunately lost to Dan, aka A-Drive, in the St. Louis Rampardo, so we are currently 10-2. Hopefully today's squad, or this week's squad, won't pull out another L, and we can hopefully win. So, if you guys remember, actually, hold on. If you guys do want to check out the Week 12 match, a link to that will be down in the description, as well as my Week 5 VPL match, which was a Wi-Fi battle, which was really, really good. So I definitely think you guys should watch that if y'all do like league matches. But if you guys remember, our matchup against Jay Week 11, if I'm not mistaken, he had Nidoqueen. Now, Nidoqueen absolutely destroyed the Durham Druddigons. Now, unfortunately, Christian has Nidoqueen, a mon kind of on the same level as Nidoking, as where she does not hit as hard as Nidoking. She is unfortunately bulkier than Nidoking, which means it's gonna be a little bit hardier. It's gonna be a little harder to take down Nidoqueen than it would to, let's say, take down Nidoking. So Nidoqueen obviously is S rank threat number 1, the hugest problem for us going into this match. So this is the squad we are bringing this week. Now, unfortunately, no combination of 6 Pokemon I bring can switch into Modest, Life Orb, Sheer Force Nidoqueen. Now that sounds absolutely terrifying. So before I show you what I think Christian is going to bring, let's run through the team. So of course we have the mascot of the Durham Druddigons, which unfortunately missed the Dragon Tail against Dan. Game changing? I don't know. Maybe not. It would have depended on how it played, but it did suck, but it's part of the game. So hopefully Tortuga can redeem himself this week in our match against Christian. We have Moonshine the Clefable, Vicente the Victini, Tranquilo the Crocodile, Evergreen the Shaman, and Bruno the Registeel. So this is more or less what Ellis and I think Christian is going to bring. Of course, Ellis being our amazing assistant coach. Big shout out to him. His Twitter link is down in the description. So this more or less is what I think his Nidoqueen is going to be. I don't know if he will want to run all that speed, but like I said, Modest Life Orb Nidoqueen is absolutely terrifying. If he goes more of a bulkier spread with Black Sludge, that could be a little less problematic, because at that point he's not doing nearly as much damage to us. Ferrothorn, if he doesn't bring Ferrothorn, Ellis and I are pretty sure he's going to bring Whimsicott, but he's not going to bring Whimsicott and Ferrothorn. I'm leaning more towards him wanting to bring Ferrothorn as opposed to Whimsicott, because we do have Skuntank, we have Registeel, of course, and we have Vicente. So I'm pretty sure he would want to bring Ferrothorn over Whimsicott, just because Ferrothorn can get up spikes, it can Leech Seed, it can potentially Thunder Wave, it can knock off, what else? It can Toxic, Leech Seed, Spikes, Rocks. All around just be very, very annoying to us. Megalodios, I'm not sure what kind of set it will be. Most likely a defensive variant. Rotom should be defensive as well. Manshell most likely will be Scarfed. Meloetta could be Subcom Mine. Actually, Subcom Mine Meloetta is absolutely terrifying going into this matchup. But if he has Meloetta, then he shouldn't want to bring Latios, because we do have Crocodile and Skuntank, and I'm pretty positive that Christian isn't going to want to bring Megalodios and Meloetta, just because we do have 2 very good dark types on our draft. So one or the other. If not Meloetta, maybe Sneasel. Life Orb Sneasel could be a little bit annoying to deal with. Poison Jab, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Ice Shard most likely, in which case then Registeel can take it on. But yeah, that more or less is what I'm thinking. This is more or less what I'm thinking Christian will want to bring for our match. But anyways, let's get into the team here. So I think I just showed off Bruno there by accident. But anyways, we have good old Mega Blastoise here. Like I said, hopefully he will be able to redeem himself this week. We are running enough speed EVs to speed creep Rotom. As you can see here, normally Christian doesn't run any speed EVs on defensive Rotom. So if he is running an offensive variant, then he most likely will either be Choice Scarfed or Specs, potentially AV maybe, but most likely a just max defense, max HP variant is what I'm thinking he'll want to bring, because that does pair up decently well against us in this match. But yeah, we should be able to outspeed him by 1 point. Modest max special attack so we can do as much damage as possible. Now, Dark Pulse was an option to have over Ice Beam. Ice Beam hits Mega Latios and it hits Nidoqueen for super effective damage, although it's not boosted like Dark Pulse is. I think it still does more damage. But Ice Beam, I think, was chosen over the fact because we can also hit Whimsicott. So if he does for some reason want to bring Whimsicott, we can Ice Beam it and then we wouldn't be a sitting duck. And Whimsicott shouldn't be able to beat Blastoise 1v1 in return, since we are modest max special attack. Unless he was like modest choice specs, which would be a little bit annoying, but not hard for us to deal with. Aurasphere will actually be able to 2-hit KO any variant of Ferrothorn. Alright, so I think I was saying that Blastoise 2-hit KO any variant of Ferrothorn. He has been known for bringing Chopo, apparently, is what Ella said, so I guess that'll be something to watch out for. But regardless though, Mega Blastoise plus Vicente is going to be hard for Christian to deal with, just because his only real answer to both of them is kind of Mega Latios, in which case we do have Ice Beam, and then spoiler, we do have U-turn on Vicente. So Mega Blastoise and Vicente are going to be pretty important going into this match. But we'll get to Vicente soon enough, as moving down the line we have good old Clefable, Moonshine herself making her return. Unfortunately, she didn't really get to do much last week either, being knocked out by a Mega Venusaur. But hopefully this week she can Calm Mind and win. Now, Ice Beam, depending on what kind of variant of Nidoqueen is, should be about a 3-hit KO. So if he does want to switch in Nidoqueen on Clefable, and I predict that I can hit it with an Ice Beam, because if he's modest Life Orb Nidoqueen, even after one Calm Mind, he can unfortunately still beat Clefable. So my best bet is to hopefully try to get myself in a position where Clefable can Calm Mind twice, and then if he doesn't have Sneasel, or if he doesn't have Manshell left, which can both learn Poison Jab, then Clefable may actually be able to beat Nidoqueen 1v1, depending on how things go. And if he does for some reason want to bring Magmortar, if it's Life Orbed modest, we can actually beat it after one Calm Mind, and we can just Calm Mind up and then sweep from there, potentially. Clefable is also filling the role of a Mega Latios counter pretty much, because no variant of Mega Latios should be able to beat Clefable. As long as he has Nidoqueen, Clefable probably won't be doing too much in this match. But as long as I have Clefable and I have Registeel, in return Mega Latios shouldn't be doing anything in this match. So like I said, I really have to watch out for Nidoqueen, because if he loses Nidoqueen, then he pretty much loses the match to Calm Mind Clefable. So obviously going into this battle, I'm gonna hopefully try to apply a lot of pressure and force him to switch in and out, as well as being able to get up rocks and rack up that damage while wearing his team down accordingly. So yeah, that's basically the idea to somehow hopefully be able to Calm Mind sweep with the Clefable. Now, the reason why we actually have 14 speed IVs is because this reduces the damage output of Gyro Ball, and I can show you guys. Most of those tabs aren't mine, by the way. Those have been there for years. So let's go to Moonshine here. Ferrothorn. If he's just defensive standard Ferrothorn, as you can see, Gyro Ball, oops, Gyro Ball is doing 41 to 50% with 14 speed IVs, but with 31 speed IVs, he would have a chance to 2-hit KO us. So with us having 14 speed IVs, we aren't losing a speed tie to anything at all, because we still have enough speed to outspeed Rhyperior if he wants to outspeed non-speed EV'd Registeel if he does decide to bring Rhyperior. But I'm pretty sure he wouldn't want to bring it because we have 2 grass types and a Mega Blastoise, and we just about always bring Mega Blastoise. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about him bringing the Rhyperior, but it is very nice to know that the Gyro Ball will not be able to 2-hit KO us, and if he does have Iron Head, it's doing about the same amount of damage if I'm not mistaken. We can check right here real quick. So yeah, Iron Head is going to be doing the same amount of damage as Gyro Ball will be doing if he does bring Gyro Ball. So moving down the line, we have Vicente. Now Vicente is our dedicated lead going into this match. Originally, sorry, I got that messed up. Vicente was our original lead going into this match, but Ellis and I talked about it, and we ended up switching up lead ideas to Evergreen being the lead going into this match, just in the off chance that he does want to lead with Rotom, because even though yes we do have Energy Ball and we are modest nature, we cannot OHKO Rotom Wash because Rotom Wash is pretty fat. Now the speed EVs and the speed mark on this Victini is a little bit confusing. If for some reason he does want to bring Meloetta, then he should be running enough speed to outspeed max speed Skuntank. So we're running enough speed to outspeed a Meloetta that would otherwise be speed creeping Skuntank. So we can outspeed that by 1 point, which allows us to go modest on Victini. So yeah, when I say that Ellis is a monster, Ellis is a monster. So obviously this entire moveset cannot be touched. This entire moveset cannot touch Mega Latios. That is exactly why we have U-turn as our final move. Energy Ball is mainly just here for the Rotom. Blue Flare obviously hits the Ferrothorn. What else? Nidoqueen is bopped by the Psyshock. Like I said, Vicente plus Tortuga here is really hard for Christian to deal with, especially if we are able to severely weaken or get rid of Mega Latios. Actually, if Mega Latios cannot outspeed Victini, if for example he's running more of a defensive variant to, let's say, only outspeed Krookodile, then Victini should actually be able to not beat, but be a lot more useful against Mega Latios, because we can outspeed it in U-turn as opposed to him outspeeding us and potentially knocking us out. So that's going to be huge if we are faster than Mega Latios going into this battle. So yeah, Victini is going to be playing a huge role as one of the 2 main offensive wall breakers. Energy Ball also hits Rhyperior. Completely forgot about that. But again, I don't really think he's going to want to bring that. Anyways, moving down the line, we have good old Tranquilo here, the Krookodile. Now, originally, spoiler, this was actually supposed to be Scarfed. Yeah, I think that would have been the 4th week in a row that we brought Scarfed Krookodile. But Ellis last minute decided to change the moveset up to Choppleberry, because after Intimidate, if worse comes to worst, if for some reason he's able to get rid of Clefable, after Intimidate, Krookodile can chew 1 high jump kick from Reckless, Scarf, Manshao, and in return we can Earthquake and potentially knock him out. Of course, Fire Fang is here just mainly for the Ferrothorn. I'm really hoping to be able to Fire Fang Ferrothorn. That would be absolutely amazing. Another reason why we do have Choppleberry is for Meloetta. If he sub Calm Mind, ideally he should have Substitute, Calm Mind, Psyshock, and Focus Blast. This way we can chew a Focus Blast, break the sub, and then potentially outspeed it and KO it the following turn. So that would be really great if that does happen as well. But Krookodile really is just here kind of like a safety net to kind of check things. It also should beat Latios 1v1 depending on what kind of set it is. If it's offensive at full HP, it shouldn't be able to knock us out in 1 hit, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure he is going to be running a more bulky variant as opposed to a specially offensive variant. So probably speed, HP, and defensive ease is what I'm thinking he's going to be wanting to run on his Mega Latios. So yeah, if worse comes to worse, we can hopefully live a hit and then knock off or even Pursuit Trap it. So moving down the line, we have good old Shaman, good old Evergreen here. I really love Shaman. who also put in a lot of work in my Week 5 VPL match. Oddly enough, Shaman is facing another Rotom. Of course, we can absolutely destroy Rotom. This is another reason why I think he may want to bring Sneasel, just because Sneasel does outspeed Shaman. Alternatively, I guess he could bring Assault Vest Magmortar, maybe AV Meloetta. As long as Meloetta isn't Subcom Mind, then I really wouldn't care what kind of Meloetta set it is. But if he doesn't have Shaman, not Shaman, but if he doesn't have Sneasel, then that's going to be absolutely amazing, because at that point, the only real thing that can take on Latios is, the only real thing that can take on Shaman is Mega Latios, and if we're able to outspeed that and potentially get off a Spadef drop, then we may be able to beat it 1v1. If we're able to get off prior damage and hopefully get up rocks. But Shaman is going to be able to apply a lot of pressure to Christian as well. Hidden Power Fire, of course, is really only for the Ferrothorn, and then we have Earth Power to be able to hit Nidoqueen. And hold on, no, this should be modest. Why is this timid? What? Yeah, okay, so for some reason this happened earlier. For some reason when I rechecked the team, it was back to timid, but no, it's supposed to be modest Shaman, because modest Shaman is running the same speed as Vicente, is running enough speed to outspeed speed creeping Meloetta on Skuntank. So we can go modest, meaning that we're able to hit even harder. Unfortunately though, we can't one-hit KO Nidoqueen because it's so bulky, but if we can get off a little bit of prior damage on Nidoqueen, then the match should be not pretty easy, but the match will be a little bit easier from there, because Mega Latios could still prove to be a huge nuisance. Luckily though, we have an absolute counter to Mega Latios in Registeel here. Like literally, that's the only reason Registeel is here for, is to be able to completely wall and take down Mega Latios. So I think this is enough defensive ease to live a high jump kick from Mienshao, if I'm not mistaken. And also at full HP, Registeel can actually chew a modest Life Orb Sheer Force boosted Earth Power coming from Nidoqueen. So if worse comes to worse, Registeel can hopefully chew a hit from Mienshao or chew a hit from the Nidoqueen. So yeah, as you can see here, we are able to just barely live high jump kick, although as you saw, we do have Protect, so maybe we can catch Christian in a scenario where we can Protect on his high jump kick. And funny note, there's actually no reason for us to have these extra 4 EVs anywhere. As you can see here, like it doesn't matter at all. And I thought it was kind of funny because Ellis mentioned. But Seismic Toss of course hits everything except for the Dusknoir. Don't really know why he would bring Dusknoir when we can just Toxic it. Stealth Rocks of course will be really helpful throughout this entire match if he's not able to get rid of them, or if he doesn't bring a form of hazard removal. So besides being able to take down Latios, Registeel doesn't really have a purpose, but like I said, if worse comes to worse, we can guarantee live one hit from the Nidoqueen and get off that little bit of damage with Seismic Toss and put it in range of being knocked out by one of our other mons, or put it in range of being 2A KO'd by one of our other mons. But yeah guys, that is basically the team that we will be bringing this week for our UCL match. It will be going up at 10 a.m. so be on the lookout for that, guys. And with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. so thank you all for watching. Later everybody.